Way to start a podcast. Been away a while. Thought we'd be looking forward to it.
This is what it's like to be champions. Come on! Welcome back to the Roaring Peacock podcast. We talk about Leeds United, and we've got a massive show coming up for you. What a victory that was against Sunderland in the 95th minute. I went absolutely berserk, not quite as berserk as the guy who dislocated his shoulder and is now getting a hug and a free shirt from Pascal Strat. So that was nice. So coming up on the show, we'll do the match review. We'll talk about that game Leeds 2, Sunderland 1. 49ers are getting a stake in Rangers, Glasgow Rangers. Will they be our feeder club? Will we be theirs? No. Angus Kinnear is one coveted by Everton. I think it was for his work on the board of the bodybuilding association. No, Kemar Roof has gone to Derby. Remember him? He scored a last-minute winner against Blackburn.
He did.
Very similar, reminiscent.
Villa as well, not last minute, but yeah, scored a few. He was good at last-minute goals, wasn't he?
He was very good. Aston Villa. Yeah, that was the famous one where Josh Warrington, of course, retained his title. It was it Boxing Day? Something like that. It was, and Popey was like, "Happy Christmas."
Was that the Blackburn one?
I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Villa, 3-2. Sheffield United. That'll be a big game on Monday, probably the biggest game of the season. And marching out together are having a auction to raise money for themselves and the LUFC food bank. They have two, not one, but two Don Revie era yearbooks signed by the whole Don Revie squad. Billy Bremner, all of them. Eddie Gray, Lorimer, all of the ones that you've heard
all the
of.
Greats.
All the greats. Not missing out one single great. And the details are on screen now. I'm doing it right. So there you go. And joining us to discuss all of this and much, much more is the Machievelli of the North. It's Ewan Metcalf. Macca?
Hello, gentlemen. It's been ages since we last did one of these things. I forgot we did podcasts. When you asked, I went, what? What podcast? What's one of them look like?
Yeah.
It's good to be back. Hello, everybody.
It's
all three of you that are watching and my two good mates. Yeah, love it.
Come on. And the Barney from the internet. Sponsored by Elon Musk.
Best mate, she's always in my DMs.
At Barney LUFC 21, Barnes.
All right, you all right?
Good, thank you, mate.
All good, Barnes.
Good.
You know who else is saying, hey up? It's our old mate, Paul. Good to see you.
Yes,
Paul.
Hey up, lads.
Rely on Paul.
Nice to see you too. And if you want to drop
what's the kind of the book then? It's an auction.
Auction. It's on eBay.
Tell me more.
I don't know how much there is to tell. That's pretty much it.
Okay, so it's an auction on eBay.
I thought it might be one. I'll drop you a link. I think it's at 10 bids now, 150 quid. All the money raised goes to, it'll be split between marching out together to keep them going and the LUFC food bank, who do great work for the less well off.
So it's going towards Wiggy's holidays then?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Torremolinos, here we come.
Right, only one place to start. Leeds 2, Sunderland 1. First thoughts. Let's go with you, Barnes. First thoughts.
It's what football's all about, isn't it? It's what it's all about. The nerves, the jeopardy, the drama. Just people going absolutely mental, forgetting about everything. Players jumping on everyone. You've seen Farker for the first time actually losing himself as well. It was just everything built to what we were expecting it to be built. It was just two good teams going at each other is what we'd needed at Ellen Road for far too long this season. Two teams that actually wanted to play football. I was really impressed with how Sunderland played. I mean, their goal, I was really pissed off with how Ampadu performed against that one-on-one. It went in. But we didn't lose it. We didn't lose our heads. The amount I saw real leaders in that team on Tuesday night. Real leaders on Monday night. Sorry, Rodon played out of his skin. He just never gave up. He was going forward all the time. Firpo was determined not to lose. Every player just wanted to win that game, no matter what. And it was, that was the Leeds that I fell in love with all those years ago. Proper football. Yeah, I mean, I've got asthma, and I had to take my inhaler when we scored the second. And when you get really excited, you get like a headache.
Yeah.
They were like, I've got to just stop because I've got a real banging headache here.
It's lack of oxygen bands.
Yeah. And then I got home, and we're getting our bathroom done at the moment. So I got home. I was freezing my tits off because all the floorboards were ripped up and everything. And I didn't get to sleep till half one. And I was up at 7 because I just kept rewatching that goal over and over and over again. That's why I'm like a big kid with football, because of games like that.
Yeah.
But you were going to say something like you got in and you're having your bathroom done, and there was the unplumbed car seat there, and you sat on it for an hour and a half having a shit and forgot it wasn't plumbed in.
Well, I had a vision. We're like, we're 1-0
the
down.
places your head goes, Mac.
I know, mate.
I had a vision like we're 1-0 down. I've got home and I need a shit, and it felt like I'm gonna have a shit in that toilet. You know the scene from Trainspotting, the worst toilet.
Yeah.
And I felt this is what it's gonna be like, and I'm like, I don't even care now. I'll just shit in the garden because we've just 1-2-1.
Yeah. Katie, I've had a shit on the floorboards. Complete! I've actually had a crouch in between the two ripped up floorboards and just done it in there on the pipework. So, come on, ladies.
How was the game? Yeah, it was good. I did a shit in the garden.
Yeah, it was that good. I had a shit in the garden. Brilliant. Why not?
Those roses are doing really well this year. Yeah, I wonder why.
Oh, fucking hell.
They also got 84 dogs hanging around in there having a sniff about. Great. I love it, bands.
Oh, dear. Mac?
Don't need to do it. Barney's just summed it all up, mate. I think the thing I would say is that a lot of people were really jealous that, here at the 7-0, the Cardiff 7-0, I think I'd swap that for going on Monday, because I couldn't go on Monday because I was that busy with work and didn't finish till really late, and I was gutted. So I spent 70 minutes of the game at least slagging off Farke again. Oh, I should have picked Gruev, should have picked fucking Strike, should start if he's fit, Aronson shit. And then it's like Barney says, you can't, for all the disappointment you get in football and playoff disappointments and not getting promoted and relegations, they're the moments you live for. That's what keeps you going back. It's a bit like when women get pregnant. It's so horrific. You think they'll never do that again, but something in your mind switches off and just focuses on the beauty of your child. And it's the same as a Leeds match where you win in the final minutes, and such the exuberance and the excitement, like Barney says, that way you're just breathing out. That's why you've got a headache. You're not breathing in. You go, yeah. And then you suddenly realise, fucking hell, I've got hypertension. What the fuck? So it feels like I've had 8 coffees. So, watching it on the big screen at home, it was almost like a dream. I mean, we've got to start Rothwell. We've got to fit him into that team. Gruev and Aronson for me are favourites, and I know why. It's work rate, but they don't add anything to the quality of the side. So as soon as Rothwell come on, think how many corners and free kicks we'd had prior to that. We never looked like we were going to score. As soon as Rothwell comes on, that first one was like a Beckham free kick. His body shape, the shape he put on the ball, the way that no defender, keeper could get anywhere near it. It was just a perfect ball. The second one was on his left foot.
Yeah.
And the way he just cut in, cool, he didn't try and just whip it in. Well, normally, if you get that chance, Ramazani has a shot, was going to go out for a throw-in, and, it ends up at Rothwell's feet, and instead of just panicking and playing that ball first time with his right foot, he cuts in on his left and plays an impossible cross to defend, and just such quality, man. We've got to find a way to get him in that team, and possibly, the same for Strike. He's our only real danger from set pieces for me consistently. Don't get him on pens, but let him get involved in corners and free kicks. So I was just really excited, and like Barney, I wasn't in the crowd, so it was slightly less exuberant, but I went fucking mental at home, to the point where my wife shouted down the stairs, "We've got neighbours, you know." And my response was, "Fuck the neighbours." I hope he's not watching. And Reece does watch it, but I was like, "Fuck the neighbours." I was going mental. Me and Luca were fucking dancing about, diving on each other on big chair in the cinema room, and just amazing. It was just beautiful. That's what, like Barney said, it captured it perfectly. You know, that's why you go to football, that's why you watch it. All the more beautiful because Sunderland got excited and give us loads at their place for getting a draw by a freak goalkeeping error, and they were crying at the end, which is always beautiful, isn't it?
Yep. I mean, you've read if you may have read my article this week and the tweet that I put out, echoing basically the exact same sentiments as both of you have said. I mean, as football fans, you're chasing that high. That is the one that you're chasing. And I was actually sick for the 7-0 game. I missed it, and I was really disappointed. Obviously, we haven't scored 7 goals in a single game since 1972. Or was it 1970?
Against
Sunderland.
72, yeah. Against
Southampton.
Yeah. It was it's almost cruel game. And but like as you said, Matt, I would have swapped. There is no way I'd have swapped Monday night for that, because that was unbelievable. I mean, that is one of the top 5 emotions that I felt at Ellen Road. Another one was, you know, that Radaby goal in Europe. I think it was it Spartak Moscow?
Spartak Moscow, yeah. That was on my birthday, that.
God, that was similar, very similar, because that was like the last minute as well. But it was also Europe, and it was Radaby as well. But
December the 8th, I can't remember the year, but that was the night we went in players after, which was Rio Ferdinand's bar, and Howard Marks was in there, Harry Kewell, Gary Kelly. What a fucking night that was, man! It was my birthday night. It was like was it a Thursday night or something? I got a feeling it was like UEFA.
Would have been, because it was
like a Thursday.
It's UEFA Cup, wasn't it?
What a night that was, man! That's a memorable one, which I'll talk about off camera. But yeah.
But let's go through the game then. So early on, I thought I actually think Mellier's form has improved a little bit.
Great. 2 saves at the start, amazing.
He's had it.
Both saves at the start.
That double save at the start,
really good.
Yeah, because earlier on in the season, with his confidence still a bit short, I think, you know, that sort of, he fluffs it bounces off his chest and goes in, you know, and then you're thinking 2-0 potentially, and sort of very difficult after that. Then the Isidore goal I know that you're upset, Barnes, about Ampadu, but I thought it was Viduka-esque. I mean, he was so strong. And he fought so hard for that, and nothing Meslier could do. I mean, it was placed inside of the post, so he can't save that. So that was the start. And then we had some really awful.
Just on the Ampadu, really quick. It's just don't get that tight on him. You know, let him have the ball and just stand off. It's the minute a striker like that, like Viduka used to do, can feel you and know exactly where you are and where your body weight is, your balance is. That's when you can get turned. So it's that tightness. But I don't necessarily blame him. I think he was trying to sort of. He's quite dangerous, that Isidore. So I think he was just trying to make sure if he could get a foot in or whatever. But yeah, you're right. And ultimately, let's be frank, he's not a centre half.
See, what annoyed me about it was not Ampadu, it was Isidore himself. He sprinted over to us. Big knee slide.
After the goal, yeah. Because go on, tell me about that.
I mean, we were right in the corner, so we were in the northwest corner. Originally, we've been given seats in row Z of the East stand-upper. It's not for me.
No.
I said no. Sorry. I'm not very good with heights. Let's just put it that way. So
you need your climbing gear to get up there. You're Everest.
I was like, no, this isn't going to work.
And you might as well watch it on TV as well. You just can't see out. It's just ridiculous.
It's like watching a Subbuteo game. Bird's eye view of players
like
about
that
big.
Except everything's spinning.
Yeah. and you're being sick every 35
Yeah,
seconds.
no, seriously, I get vertigo because it's so steep. That's the thing about it. You really feel it. Some people, it's nothing for them, but for me, for some reason. Anyway, so they put us in the northwest. It was quite good there. But anyway, so Isidore, knee slide from about 20 meters, like one of those comedy gifs or whatever. He's greased up his knees, Vaseline up, and done the big 30-meter. He gave it the big ones, absolutely. And then, so there's that celebration. Then he stands up. Then the referee's like, "Come on, that's enough now, mate." And then so he's walking back, and then he gets down on his knees, and I don't know what he's doing, like praising.
Starts praying like that, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's FIFA 2006, or I don't know what it is, but and then he gets up again, and then he's celebrating all the way back to his own half. It's unbelievable. It's like this. We'll get onto this a bit later, but Daniel Farke got a yellow card for celebrating. There are a couple of reasons why you might, 3 reasons why you might get a yellow card for celebration in the laws of the game. So one is because you've taunted your opposition fans. Another one is because the celebration was excessive. And another one is because the celebration wasted time. So
all 3. What do you get for all 3? A fucking a boat, a holiday in the Caribbean.
Never mind the yellow card. I think Atwell's getting Isidore a Christmas card. Fucking hell.
Well, Atwell's just a prick. I mean, I don't know how he's refereeing that game. I thought he actually did okay most of it, but it took too long to book their keeper who was dicking about from early doors again. And I think that is a proper. I think Warnock, Warnock. I don't agree with Neil Warnock often, but he said that's just a little pleb of a linesman trying to make a name for himself. Going, oh, ref, he's on pitch. He's celebrating a last-minute goal. Let it go. He'll have been telling his mates about it in the pub. That's what Warnock said. Oh, I got Daniel Farke booked on Monday night. What a wanker. It's people who've never played the game and don't understand the emotion. We all understand it. We've talked about how that's what football's all about. And if you understood that, you wouldn't book Farke. It's that simple. I actually think it might work in our advantage, by the way, but we'll come up with that.
Righto.
Him not being
awful short corners. I don't know why we do them. Don't play them short, and they were abandoned anyway. I remember we got one on the other side, and Solomon was like, "Nah." Solomon was taking it, and he was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna cross it." I remember one of them, early ones. I lost it. I was like, "Just cross it!" Person in front of me.
I mean, they were a small team. They're a small team. I mean, that O'Neill, he's like, you watch him and you go, how's he getting on there? He's like a magnet football. Every ball that goes in, he's about 5'10", and he wins every header, and he's clearing stuff off the line. So he's one of them people that he just good positioning, reads the game well. But they're not a big side, so it was always about getting the ball in and having people who can attack it. And you think, Peru doesn't do it. He's a big lad, he doesn't do it. We haven't got that many big lads. Rodon, should be scoring more goals. It's just that kind of. We haven't got people who attack the ball. Pascal's humanity. He's got that ability to read where that ball's going to go, what position to be in, and he's got rid of his planed off the 50p head.
He's
and managed to make a perfectly rounded gem.
That's what we were saying. He sanded his head down.
He couldn't miss it. To be fair, he couldn't miss either. They were about 3 centimetres off the line, but I think it's disappointing the way that the linesman kind of almost got Farke booked, and we've got to do better from set pieces, man. We had a lot against them, and they're a small team. When they were sort of at the beginning, when they were stood lined up, you thought these are pretty small side by that Wizardor, and there's another guy that's like a decent side. They were quite a small team, but just didn't make advantage of it because Gruev is no good at it. It's a bit worrying that we're still deciding what to do with a shot. Should we do a short corner? No, we're not good at them. Should we whip it in? We're not getting it. We don't look like we're going to score, do we? So it is a bit worrying. We've got to do better. And that's why I think Rothwell, it doesn't matter what you think of him as a contributor during the game, purely for set pieces, should be in the team.
Here we go. Paul says, loved the bit of needle in the game. Rothwell gives us an energy, very Leeds. Now,
absolutely.
How are we going to get him in the team, Barnes?
I think that the reason why he plays Grueb is because he's more defensively minded, and that's probably why. So teams like we're going to be playing against like Sunderland, we'll probably see that against Sheffield United. We'll probably see Grueb start again. But I also think that it's quite a good option to bring off the bench when you've tired down the team, tired down the midfield, and then you bring in on a bit of energy from Rothwell, because sometimes we'll just pick up the ball and just run with it, and it just seems to split up the defence open. So I think it's a good option. But I mean, I did find it funny that strange how he brought. We were 1-0 down. We needed some more attacking threat, and he brought off Rothwell. He brought on Rothwell and Strike. Like, why is he doing this? I don't get it. And then he just after the game think, that's why you're getting paid big money, because you've seen something. And it's and like he said in the press conference after, he said, we wanted the best people for set pieces, and it's shown straight away.
Yeah. I mean, I saw it because we weren't getting any penetration in the final third. And you know how I feel about penetration.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you like it a lot. Especially receiving.
Wow. Because we talked about the short corners, just get it in. Who can cross the best? It's Rothwell in that whole squad. Pretty much the only one who can. But we saw some of the best crosses I've ever seen in my life on Monday night. And who is the biggest threat, or the only threat we've got in the box? It's Strout. So it made total sense to me. I also felt like we needed Ampadu in midfield.
Further up, yeah. He smashed a couple of people straight away. As soon as he moved up there, it's like that's what they've been getting away with for 75 minutes, is that walking through the midfield, and he just, he's hitting people. Literally, it's very easy for us to say and sit here, and Barney's just described it eloquently enough that that's why Farke gets paid the big money, because he makes those decisions. But I think he's making decisions that are reactive, that if he was proactive and thought, Strike starts every game that it's fit, I think he is protecting him in his defence. I don't think he's 100% fit. I don't know if you noticed, but he went up for a header and turned as he came down, and he had a bit of a buckle, and I thought, here we go, he'll be out for the season, he'll be one of them innocuous ones. So I don't think he's 100% right, so I'll give him that. Gruev does not start a game for us when everybody else is fit. It's that simple. It doesn't matter whether it's defensive-minded or not. We've got Ampadu, Rodon, Tanaka. You've got a lot of players there who I would describe as defensive. I think Tanaka's wasted where he is, if I'm being really honest. So my view would be Strike starts centre half, Ampadu goes into midfield with Tanaka, and I'd play with Rothwell, and I'd play Tanaka at 10. He won't do it. I know he's never going to do it, because he won't take Aronson out that side. Because if you notice in that first, after they got over their first 10 minutes of like pressure, looking really good and starting quickly and kind of catching us on the hoof a bit, our press was relentless. We were like really putting them under pressure. They did really well, actually. Something like Barney said, they came to play football. They weren't hoofing it. They were trying to play their way out, and they did it really well. It was frustrating, but our press was relentless, and a lot of that is led by Aronson. So the difficulty you've got is, as much as his quality on the ball is poor, his work rate and his press and the way he drags others with him on that press it's hard to drop him out of the team. But if it was me and I didn't have any consequences from this decision, I think Tanaka is wasted back there. I think he's wasted. I'd have him at 10, and I'd have Rothwell, and his energy is brilliant. To answer your thing there, Barney, really quick. If he was a player that blew out of his arse on 90 minutes or 85 minutes or 70 minutes, Rothwell, I'd agree with you. But he don't. He's probably the fittest lad in the squad, so he's not going to be one of them that needs. He's still going to have an energy at 75, 80 minutes. So kind of get what you're saying, but he wouldn't be one that I would worry about fitness-wise, because he looks fit as a lad, and his energy's incredible.
So speaking about Farke then, because at points we've criticised him, and you can kind of see why, because we can be quite defensive, and especially at the start of the season, we weren't converting those draws to wins. We weren't moving those. Certainly that Burnley game, lads. We've lost 3 games all season.
It's ridiculous, isn't it, really? If you think about it.
Setting records all over the place. You can't slag Farke off. We have intermittently in individual games or individual moments, you can have an opinion. I don't think that should be seen as slagging him off. what he's done over 2 seasons is incredible. You know, he had a team last year that was, in my opinion, too based on individuals, but he got a tune out of everybody, and we nearly went up. In fact, we were looking how he didn't. He's still beyond it. But we had 2 teams that kind of ran away with it. You know, ran away with the league, which is unusual. This season, you know, you think of the cards he was dealt at the start of last season, and the card he's been dealt at the start of this season with Somerville and Rutte, and he just managed. He's very, you know, that calmness. I think is a really good. It's a kind of dovetails into it's the opposite to the way Leeds operate. That frantic mental mentality. He's just the opposite. You know, when we win, he's calm. When we lose, he's calm. It's
before
good for
the
us.
equaliser on Monday, he called Firpo over, and he had a word with him, and he pointed at the corner. And I know what he was saying. He was saying, when you get the ball, run the touchline and cross it in. And what happened? 2 minutes later, Firpo gets the ball, runs at the touchline, gets tripped over. We get the free kick. And his 2 substitutes combine to get the equaliser. And I just think of all the games that I've seen, of all the criticisms that he's got rightly or wrongly, that was the best managed game that I've seen. He was so effective in the input that he gave to change the course of the game.
I think it's also as well the fact that a lot of people say let's look at the squad he's got. We should be up there. Yeah, but you still need to coach players no matter what. And also, we've got we've got those options on the bench now, which for the first time in I can't remember when we've had options on the bench where you can actually rotate things. And he knows how to do the Championship when he playing midweek Saturday, and when it's relentless over the Christmas period, and we've come out really well out of the Christmas period, and he can rotate those options in midfield. I mean, I can't remember the last time we've actually had a proper discussion about maybe that player should be playing in midfield. I mean, a few seasons ago we were playing under 21s in midfield who've had no. I think the squad that we've got now, I think, is better than last season because it's so much more balanced, and also there's a real team ethic in that team. After that match when they went all into the centre circle, there's a real this is we're going to do this. We are absolutely going to do this, and I felt in the crowd. I saw a different turn in the crowd where everyone stayed behind and said, "Right, let's not fuck about now. Let's do it. 12 games to go. Let's do it."
Yep. And I have to say about that.
Did you see Ampadu? I can taste it. I can taste it. Did you see him in the huddle?
Willie.
Oh, was he?
That's what he was doing. Ampadu, I can taste it. Yeah. He was doing the huddle. You could see his face. You could see he was going, we're going to do it, lads. We're going to do it. I can taste it. Everybody was like, we're beautiful.
Willie Nonto.
Love him.
Let's talk about him.
Yeah, there you go.
Sulking. He wanted to leave. He was subject to a transfer from Everton. Farke goes, "You're not going anywhere, mate, but I tell you what you are doing, you're going to go train on your own. Not going to have that kind of attitude." Since then, he's worked his way back into the squad. He's been in and out of games. But on Monday night, he wasn't brought on. I feel like the old Willie might have been sulking,
straight off,
got a strop on, annoyed that he hadn't got on. You look at him last night, he was one of the happiest people I've ever seen in my life, dancing around with Tanaka. When we scored the winner, he broke the world sprint record for running over there to celebrate with the whole team. It was absolutely amazing how he's got that. Farke's got that togetherness in that squad, and that's what I was saying today. It's that togetherness. I just feel like it's unassailable.
But you need that if you're going to go up as champions or from that league, which is relentless and difficult. You need that camaraderie within the squad, and it's hard these days with multi-millionaire footballers with an ego. It was easier back in the 70s and 80s, when they were the more common man. But I think that's again a great credit to Farke because I think Willie is a bit of a sulker naturally, and I think he wants to be playing every week, which every footballer does. If you look at him and Ramazani, I've said it before, if I was watching Aaronson week in, week out start as 10 and I was them two, I'd be furious. But they're not displaying that kind of mentality. They're celebrating with the team. I think something must have gone on at Sunderland because all the players seem to want to really celebrate and go home to their fans even. And so something must have gone on for me, both with the playing staff and with the something went on at half time at the game. There was something happening in the tunnel, so I think there was a big situation where the players wanted to really give it to the fans and to their players. But I think the way that Ramazani and Nonto have responded to not being started and it is incredible, and I think it is again a testament to the way Farke's managing the squad.
Yep, absolutely. Right, Barnes, final thoughts or magic moment? We used to do that. Oh, man of the match?
But yeah, what we're doing,
which one? Just one more point on the Nonto thing. Do you think Rutter and Somerville's attitudes affected Willie? And do you think that Tanaka is a better influence on Nonto than Somerville and Rutter was? Because as happy as Rutter could be, there were days when he'd get the huff. And Somerville, he would sulk all the time and he'd go missing in big games.
I've still got question marks over Nonto, if I'm honest, as a player. If he's
a little bit. Yeah.
I don't think he's all that just yet. I think that I definitely do think he's a good player and there's definitely a player in him, but I do think he's easily led. I mean, he was quite naive when he came in, wasn't he? When we first bought him, and he did seem to his head seems to have sort of turned a little bit. But I think that's also the fact that his agent wasn't helping as well. So maybe with his new agent now, he's been a bit more grounded. But I think Tanaka's like an example of what you should be as a young player and what you need to be. And no matter what you do, you always need to put that 100% in or every single time. Don't rest on your laurels from the last game. And I think hopefully Nonto's learning from stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I think there's one thing to say on that you've got like people like Gilavogi and Tanaka and other influences around him that are far more mature and positive and less reactive to the situation. And I think the other thing on that is that it's very hard to say whether Rutter and Somerville were disruptive or whatever, but I think they created a bit of a clique at the club. So if you look at some of the night out photographs, it's Rutter, Somerville, Nonto, Rutter, Somerville, Nonto. It wasn't a demographic of different people. It was always the same few people knocking about. My view, I mean, whatever you think about Warner, he knows the changing room and he knows the Championship and he knows how football teams operate. And he said that he spoke to Farke at half time, at full time at the playoff final, and he gets on with him clearly, and he really respects him. And he said, that he said to Farke that he felt like the big players in his team let him down. And what did he do? He got rid of them. Now he's clearly talking about Somerville and Rutter. I'm not really a bad word to say about Somerville. I did think him at missing games. I think that's easy as a winger. If you look at James and Solomon the other day, I didn't think they were great. So it is easy as a winger to sometimes look fantastic and other times look very average. And I think that's just an illness of that position. But I think the thing I'd say about Rutter was he's all about himself. If you watch him for Brighton now, for us, if you actually look back retrospectively with an objective mind and look at how he operated, the come on down the tunnel, let's go, whatever it was, the kind of every goal that was scored, he was in the photograph because he was. I do think he's quite an exuberant character. I think a lot of it's calculated. So I don't think he'd have helped the way that kind of camaraderie across 22, 24, 25 players at all. And I think there would have been players that were quite resentful of the attention that Rutter got when, to me, he spent a lot of time on his arse, spent a lot of time moaning about being fouled, spent a lot of time rolling around up the floor. He was up for it when he was doing well, flat track bully. But when it got tough, he went missing. So I'm not a big fan of Rutter. I never really was. As exciting as he was to watch, I thought he was a divisive character. Look at the way Brighton are going now. You know what I mean? Getting mullered by people and losing games they should lose. You just don't know.
So I'm going to assume that magic moment is obvious, and man of the match is going to be either Rothwell or Stroke, right?
You can't assume that. I've got another magic. I'm going to go off
go on,
magic
then, Matt,
moment.
go on.
Now, go on, you do your magic moments. Is that yours then, Danny?
Well, it's obvious when we scored the winner. We scored the winner when they blew the final whistle. And I predict a riot came on.
I really like.
I don't think I've ever yelled and shouted and sang so much. I lost my voice at 20 minutes as it was.
Good one. Yeah, it's early that for losing your voice. I like two moments a lot, right? One of them was when 09, it was a prick. He's probably a good prick, actually, to be fair to him, but when he fell on Melier, or pretended to fall on Melier and squashed him, and then Kim Jordan dragged him off and threw him on the floor, and then Ampadu came in, and then Ampadu kind of put his head into Isidore, because he, like you've said, he's clearly a knobhead. So he came up and tried to get involved, and Rodon scared him off a bit. And the referee came to speak to him. He was going to book Isidore, definitely. And I think he was going to book Rodon. And Ampadu almost talked him out of it in the time it took him to get over to Rodon. Ampadu was in his ear, started chelping on him. He didn't book Rodon, and I thought, he put his head in his face, and he was quite fractious at that time. And I thought he was going to book both of them. He did. I really like the way Rodon and Ampadu reacted, because that's showing that heart that I want to see. Forget about technical and football. That championship is absolutely about heart sometimes, and we showed it, and I like that. That was good. And I like the fact that, Sunderland, Leeds are falling apart, I love giving it back to them, because, like I say, they gave it to us at their place from getting a draw. They look like they'd won the FA Cup when they beat us, when they got a draw at their place. And to do them on our own backyard, and all the fans out, and the players dancing in front of them, and there was their fans were coming down the stand trying to get at players and stuff. It's like, I love all that shit, me. And you just said that, there was a bit of friction there. There was a bit of tension. Good. That's what games should be like. These games where they pass you by and it's all shake hands and, let's hug and do high fives at the end of it. I couldn't give a shit about that. I want to see a bit of that nonsense. It makes it what it is.
Absolutely. Barnes?
Magic moments. I think for me, the magic moment is when with final whistle and all the team were in a circle together, just like I think taking it all in, really, just like we've done it, we did it. Yeah.
Nobody left.
No.
It was as loud as I've ever heard it as well. I mean, when that goal went in, that was so loud. That was something special.
Oh, yeah.
Cherish them moments, boys.
And that's the thing. There's been a lot of moments this season already. The 7-0, the last minute winner the other night, the records that Farke's doing during this season as well. There's some real moments we need to cherish, and we've got into 37 minutes. We've not mentioned his name, but we always bang on about Bielsa and the moments with him. I think we need to start banging on about the moments that Farke's done in the last 2 seasons with us. Some real special.
Yeah, it's changed, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's some real moments that's really to cherish, and I think I think fans are starting to really understand what Farke is all about. I think that what we're seeing now is what a Farke team is. Last season was very much a relegation squad, a team that was very much hashed together because the takeover took too long and what Farke did then. But we're really seeing what the football is all about. He always said in the start of the season, it's a marathon. So you're going to start seeing the best of players towards the end of the season, and we're seeing that now.
Yep. I mean, the last time we lost in the championship, do you know? Do you remember?
Was it Millwall?
Blackburn.
Blimey, yeah.
Yeah.
30th of November. We've only lost 3 times. Do you know what those games were?
Burnley at home and Millwall at home.
Yeah, that's it. And they were all 1-0.
And you can't use Millwall because that was the cup.
Middlesbrough.
No, they beat us away. Did they beat us away in the league as well?
The cup, yeah.
1-0. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think that Barney said it there. We talked about this the other day. The records, if you look at the records, unbeaten at home, 18 goals without a response up until the other night, without a reply in the league. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's phenomenal. He should be being more celebrated. I think Bielsa has spoilt us, with the kind of style of football. But if you look at the actual results and the fact that we don't get turned over by people now, like we did under Bielsa where we shouldn't have, it's actually a much more, you feel more confident. If we were the points we are above with Bielsa in charge, I'd be slightly more nervous because I think we could just turn up and that gung-ho style might lose us a game here and there, but it just looks like we've got it consolidated. And I never want to count the chickens because it's Leeds United. Let's be honest, we've seen this film before, but it just feels like we should beat anybody on our day, and we can play dirty, we can play pragmatic, we can open up and be expansive when we want. We can play just about any way you want. Monday's massive because we're miles better than them. So if we don't let their mentality and kind of that physical, sort of wilder kind of team do what they do to others, you look at them, you watch them play other teams, and you think, I'm not sure how they won that game. Not taking anything away from them, they're up there for a reason. I mean, if they 2-point deduction, they'd be same points as us, So you can't slag them off. But football-wise, and just individuals and style and everything, not even close. We should be 8-9 points clear.
Yes, 80% Wilder's grunt, I reckon.
I don't know what it is. They've just got something about them. I mean, they're tough. They're tough, proper tough South Yorkshire
strikes me
proposition.
as a bit of a sort of ugly South Yorkshire version of you, Mac. He's got the gift of the gab.
Thanks, mate. I like the way you put ugly in. Thanks for that, mate.
Well, I have to differentiate somehow, or you wouldn't agree with me. So the owner's gone down to the pub, and Wilder's holding court in there, and he's just yanked him in off the pub and go, "You'll do."
Well, that's pretty much how my life panned out. It started in a pub. No good story starts with a salad. Do all my best work in pubs. Yeah, maybe so. You might be right. No, listen, you've got to give them credit, and you look at the goal difference between us and them. It's like we're on plus 40 something, and they're on about half the goal difference. Burnley don't score enough goals to catch us. I'm convinced they can't win enough games to catch us because they draw too many silly games. The game the other day is a great example.
No,
but you never know.
We're absolutely up. Probably as champions.
Don't say that, please. Don't do it.
I'm telling you, we're a goal difference of plus 48, and the next closest, the second place in the table is plus 24. Burnley are plus 30, but that's only because they've conceded 9 goals, and they've had 7 0-0 draws. I mean, talk about anti-football.
I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it now. I don't want to leave the Championship. It's fucking brilliant. You get a team conceded 9 goals a season, a team that's second that had a 2-point deduction, and a complete mess. Sheffield United at the start of the season. Us, again, 2 of our best players leave. We're top of the league. We're flying. Everybody slags Piru. I thought Piru had a great game the other day. By the way, we've just got to find a way to get the tune out of Piru, because he's not going to go win headers and hold the ball up for people. I'll tell you what, some of the stuff he does is just terrific. It's great to watch. Got great feet. He's clever as fuck. If he does actually, a lot of stuff came off for him the other night, and he just looks like a different player. I really like him. I'm not sure. You look. The question I was going to ask you two was who plays if we go up next year out of that side? Who remains? None. So I'm not convinced he's a Premier League player. So who stays? Who starts for Leeds next year?
Ampadu, obviously. Tanaka's a Premier League player straight off.
Agreed.
I think there is a squad there that can compete in the Premier League, but I think we need to concentrate on the spine of the squad, definitely, because I do think we need a keeper. Ramsdale for me would be an ideal replacement. I think another midfielder. I mean, Ampadu and Tanaka in midfield in the Premier League, I can see it, but I think we do need some experience in that midfield as well. And with every side that's going to get promoted, that's over the years will look at a number 10 and a striker, and it's you say it's a big market out there, but probably the same teams are looking for the same sort of players, so it's going to be a tough one. But I do think we've got a decent squad to compete in that league, and I think we'll have the backing to compete in that league as well. I don't think we'll piss about and try to get some bargains. We'll spend some good money. I mean, we're looking at that the striker from Scum, aren't we? Which I'm not too sure if he's a decent enough player for me. I think he's a bit
Who's
rough.
that?
Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah,
That's
I think
a rumor, though.
Yeah, I think yeah.
To be honest, I'm not being funny. I reckon he'd be great at Leeds. I think he's got that mentality that would work, and I think he's a decent player. You look at the players. You look at Anthony. Who's gone there being an absolute waste of money and complete waste of the shirt every week. He's got 2 man at matches for where it's Sporting or wherever he's gone to. It's like we say about Leeds. That's a heavy shirt to wear, and certain players just can't do it. They're finished. I mean, at least we'll get 6 points off them.
It'd be so lazy. We get promoted, then all of a sudden Man United become good again.
Yeah. Well, no, they'll just try harder against us because they know it matters. They're getting beat by Bournemouth and everybody else, but they'll probably beat us twice. But no, listen, it's exciting. It's exciting. I think Tanaka and Purdue. You look at the fullbacks. I mean, Firpo, the way he's playing at the minute, he's a level above where we are now for sure. I'm not sure about Bogle defensively. It's going to be hard to keep those two on either side because they're both quite attacking.
They both played well on Monday.
I love Bogle now.
They were both involved in the build-up to the goals. Firpo on the left for the first one. Bogle, I don't know if you recall, cut inside, cut past 3 players and had a shot with his left foot that was deflected, went out for the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love him, but it's a big step up, and it's the way you've got to play in the Premier League is a little bit different. If you're too open, you'll get found out, won't you? So, Tanaka, I'm not sure about Peru. It's a lot of work to be done, but it's exciting, isn't it? Exciting times.
Yeah. So for me, I think both fullback positions, we'd need somebody with more speed, more pace, because you've got the paciest wingers in the world. The best, most attacking wingers in the world in the Premier League. So,
sure.
I mean, would I trust Firpo in the Championship? Yeah. Do I think he looks amazing? Of course, in the Championship. But pit him against Salah. How's that going to work out? So I think Strauch and Rodon, they're Premier League quality.
Yeah.
But we'd need a backup then. Because who's coming in after that? It can't be DeBayo. So so we'd need strength in depth there across that back line, just the full-backs and then maybe one centre-back. Then I think defensive midfielders, we just have to go with it because we have to give them a chance. Maybe we bring Rothwell in permanently.
Yeah.
And then you'd be looking. I think we've got to go with the wingers with what we've got as well, probably. So then you're looking at a striker, a big, tall, mean, brutish, horrible striker. Yeah. And I'm not talking about Højlund. He's too short and he's too scum. And and then somebody a number 10 position who's got a bit of creativity, who's good on the ball. Like Aronson's brilliant off the ball, but he's probably not going to be good enough. You're not going to get as many chances in the Premier League, and the chances that you get, you're going to have to finish. You have to take them.
And we're not going to have the possession that we have now. You look at the possessions we're having most weeks. There's not a chance we're doing that next. If we do go, I hope somebody's going to fucking play this when we get.
No, they won't. No one cares. No one cares. All right, 49ers, staking Rangers. You happy about being a multi-club owner organisation? Barnes, what do you think about Rangers?
I prefer, go Barney.
I like Rangers. I'd choose Rangers over Celtic any day. I've seen Rangers when I was a kid. I
knew there was something wrong with you.
I went to Ibrox. And it said, "Welcome to Ibrox," and my name. And then Paul Gascoigne scored the winner as well. So I had the privilege of seeing Gazza play. The thing is that everyone said we're Leeds United. We shouldn't be part of a multi-club capacity, but it's modern football. There's a lot of clubs out there that are part of that sort of thing. And it's about networking as well, isn't it? But the thing for me is that if we want to be Leeds United, we want to be like competing in the Premier League and getting into Europe and stuff. That's when it becomes a bit of a sticking problem. When we could end up playing Rangers in Europe, which is a bit of and a lot of the old conspiracy theories of Leeds United came out today. You just love it, don't you? When everything's got hunky dory, and all of a sudden, with 49ers are linked with Rangers, that means we're selling to Red Bull, and then the other thing, Kinnear's going, that means Red Bull's coming in. So it's all pie in the sky just yet, and I mean it's not even going to happen until June apparently when it's going to be finalised. So a lot can happen between here and then. So at the moment, I'm not really. It's something in the background that's just taking attention away what we should be really concentrating and just enjoying this season, if I'm honest.
True. I mean, we didn't even talk about the Islamic cleric.
Oh, no,
let's not get into it.
No.
Let's not get into it.
We'll get cancelled if we start getting down that route. We're not here often enough as it is. Fucking hell, we don't do it any less than we are doing podcasts, to be fair.
Only Leeds. Only Leeds.
Only Leeds. I think that the thing about the 49ers, what I would say is I'd rather that they establish themselves with us better than they have done so far before they start looking to get involved with other clubs in Britain. That'd be my point. But, you know, I'm not, I've said it to you before, I don't care what goes on behind the scenes, what the 49ers do. Invest in the team, get us the best possible playing squad that we can have out there every week, and whatever else they're doing, I'm not really that interested. It's all about that green dance floor on a Saturday or Monday or a Tuesday. You know, it's that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. So I was trying to think about this today. I think this is the best ownership, upper management that we've had probably since Fotherby.
It's not fucking hard, is it? We've had some pretty shit examples of how to run a football club.
Okay,
I thought GFH
right,
were brilliant, mate. You've left GFH out of that question.
But yeah, if you think about it, I mean, maybe it's just because of recency bias with what Orta was. Maybe I swallowed too many of the Orta pills, but you know, he was talking about, you know, even the best football directors, only a third of the transfers are good. You know, we've got a considerably higher hit rate under this technical director and a transfer guy, I can't remember his name now, specialist who was at Newcastle for a little while.
That's right.
The bargains that we've got, I mean, Tanaka, one
ridiculous.
of the biggest bargains of the club's history. Ampadu, Rodon, unbelievable. Just hit after hit, after bargain after bargain. So I don't care. I don't care what they do, and I'm kind of happy that, you know, if we've got a stake in Rangers, fine. Can we offload Bamford to them? Do they want Bamford, Verber?
Get rid of all the shit that we don't want. Gelhardt.
Well, we go to the Premier
Gelhardt
League.
would be brilliant for Rangers. He'd be brilliant for Rangers, Gelhardt. Telling you now. He would. You heard it here first. He would score goals for Rangers, I'm telling you, week in, week out.
He would.
Probably. He probably would. Yeah. He probably would. And Nonto, I mean, if we go up, you know, there was a question of, will Nonto be good enough for the Premier League? He'll be good enough for Rangers. I'm absolutely sure of it. I think Verber might even do well. You know, he might be the type of player who would do well there. He might
be. Going to be made into fucking glue at the end of this season, like a dog meat or something. Got no chance.
He'll be into those Dunfermline Athletic.
I mean,
players.
I'll tell you what, I can see him coming back in the Premier League because he thinks the Championship's too below me, and then I'm just going to be fantastic in the Premier League. But just going back to what you were saying about Orta and the happy pills and stuff like that, and the hit rate we've had, I think, Parag mentioned it, didn't he? When they took over, they were literally on a shoestring. Everything was, wasn't it? Like the the groundsman was part of social media or something.
Yeah,
so it's all we've got a proper structure.
The guy who was in charge of the ground staff was also running the website.
The social media. Yeah, that's right. You wonder why you couldn't get tickets. Why the ticket exchange didn't work. It's almost like Geisley. It's like Geisley. That's probably the same sort of model that they've got.
I mean, you can see
Rad's just there with his whiskey. Yeah, that'll do.
Okay. There's a big slug out in the shower.
You see like a proper structure now with what's happening, and I mean, you can even see the difference on match days. I mean, this before the start of the game, the music and stuff like that. And I know fans don't like that, but there's a real like sort of professionalism about it as well now. I mean, in the COP as well, they've got brand new speakers, and you can tell a real difference rather than like someone's like used like an MP3 player or something trying to play some music with a microphone. There's a real difference and a real quality to stuff now.
Yeah,
there's a long way to go still. There is, but there's still a difference.
You can see it. You're right.
I haven't checked out your comments because I was on full screen for a while. So here we go then. Paul says we're a really good team.
Agreed.
Mike P says, "Oops, caps."
What?
It's not the international week, Mike. International break. Mark Edison. Hi guys, where have you all been? Life. Where have you been, Mac?
Oh man, you don't want to know.
Work.
No, just like everything, mate. Life, work, kids. The lot, houses, renovations. Yeah. I can't. I'm making myself sad and depressed talking about it. Don't even ask me. Moving up Barney. Fucking hell, I've had enough. Busy, mate. Really busy.
It's like in the office where they asked him what he does, and he starts talking about how he sells paper, and then he's like, "And I'm boring myself."
I know, talking about it. Well, the thing is, I came off social media, so completely came off Twitter and Blue Sky and absolutely brilliant, absolutely liberating, and one of the best things I've done in recent years. Right, just gives me a lot more time to watch more porn. It's great. But I've been doing really. Don't be fooled.
There you go, Mark. I hope that answered your question.
Every week I go to get to the doctors to get anally probed to have a finger up bum time, my colon checked. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah. Like I say, it's like looking through somebody's glove compartment. Same findings. A pen, 50p. Yeah, a bit of metal, some fluff.
I hope you regret asking that question, Mark.
Mark loves it, man. I know Mark. He loves it. He loves a bit of shit like that. He'll love it. He's missed us anyway. That's what he's missed. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
It won't be the football analysis. It'll be all the stupid shit that we do. No doubt.
Barnes, what have you been up to?
Just life, isn't it? I think I'm getting to that age where like it's Friday tomorrow already, and you think, where's the week gone? And it's like it's nearly March. Like, wait, what's happening? Everything's just going too quickly.
Settle in, Barnes. Don't worry, it's going to be all right.
I've started drinking 7% beers, so that tells you what kind of fucking mental state I'm in. Yeah, fuck them 4.8%. I'm on Northern Cosmic Fog now. It isn't. Yeah. I'm feeling a bit foggy now.
And I am still going along with my master's degree in journalism.
Eating up a lot of your time though, mate, isn't it?
1,000-yard stare. Sorry, what was that?
I'm saying it's eating up a lot of your time though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I should never have done it. Mike, no, it's great. One of the best things that you can... In fact, they're recruiting at the moment, or whatever it is, and they're looking for more people to do a master's degree in September, and I've actually been told to, sell it if you are enjoying it. Look, it's one of the best things that I've ever done, and you should definitely get in touch, reach out. If you don't necessarily need an undergraduate degree, you might be able to get in through experience. So just reach out and I can tell you a bit more about it. Mike P, nice to see you back. Is it going to be a regular thing?
No, don't even start, mate. Like, we don't know. We've no clue. Is it?
Could be, maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
Should be a regular thing. We've talked about this consistency. You went to the top by the square ball they've talked about consistency being one of the things, and an hour. I can see we're at 59 minutes and 30 seconds already.
They went through a list of things.
I know, yeah.
They went through a list of things that made them successful. And I was ticking them off in my head. Yeah. And we do the complete opposite. Opposite.
No, we don't know.
Opposite.
Yeah. But hey, typical. Listen, we're our own people. We're going to do it our way. We're not interested in following. We're innovators. We're not sheep.
That's right. See, we'd rather have Derek and Mike
8
and
viewers.
Mark. Yeah. Than £1 million.
Say every week, fuck the square ball.
Evening, gents, said Derek.
Yes, Derry.
Porn and 7% beers. Mark is living the life. There we go.
I'm a simple man with simple needs, you know. I'm like a caveman. Eat, sleep, shag, drink, shit. In between floorboards, preferably, or in the garden. And then howl at the moon. That's all I do.
Fantastic. Angus Kinnear going to Everton. Thoughts?
Thank fuck, I'll drive him there. Well, do they want a load of shit kits? That's all I'm going to say on the matter. They must want shit kits as well, like ours. Barney?
Barnes, nice word to say about Angus? Well, I put something on Twitter today. I said that not the fan base haven't liked him, but I think if you look back, he was probably thrown under the bus from Orta and Rads at times. His match day notes didn't help the situation sometimes when he became a little bit too cocky. Maybe the fan base liked it a little bit, but sometimes just read the room. I think we put that structure into that club for the first time in a long while. So, yeah, I think the good bits outweigh the bad bits. I'm going to say. I think if you can look back and say he knew what he was doing. He was a football man. He knew where Leeds was and where it needed to go, and he's taken us to that level. And I think it's the right time for him to move on and someone else to come in to take us on to the next level we need to be.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, okay, so for me, because he's not a very forward-facing CEO, he does not like speaking to the press or doing interviews. Like, he'll refuse to give interviews, basically, to the press. And he doesn't really it's not very transparent. It's very, very sort of closed doors. So it's difficult to know exactly, or difficult to rate his performance. I'd say that he's not one of those pioneering CEOs. So if you look at anybody, I don't know, who was that, Tim Cook, or the guy who was at Apple before, Steve Jobs, any of these people, they've got a personality, and the personality is reflected in the business that they run. Like you, Mac, you're an owner of a business, and your personality is reflected within that. I mean, for all of your darkness and your comedy and stuff, you've got a lot of energy, and you want to help people, and you're very sort of, tenacious. You're like a dog with a bone when you get into something, and you won't stop until you get it. And so for me, I don't see much of that in Angus. I went to this Q&A that the Trust ran. He looked like he was on a trip to the dentist. I mean, it's not something that, is not necessarily inspiring. So, maybe he is a good administrator. I wouldn't know. Maybe Rad's had a lot of input. I don't know. I think probably did. Probably Myanmar was Rad's idea, for example.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Angus Kinnear reminds me of an accountant I once had that I had no relationship with. Don't matter how much I worked in, I was with him for years, trusted relationship. You have to have a really good relationship with your accountant. He reminds me of that accountant where it just didn't matter what you did, you couldn't really crack a joke. You went to meet him and there was no life or kind of vibrancy there or kind of connectivity. He kind of reminds me like that, and I think that's probably what you're describing, Donny. I think that the problem with football is if you are outgoing, high-fiving, welcoming the players, fist bumping, and it can go wrong, can't it? I think he's probably been burnt a bit, and I think he's particularly cautious of doing it at Leeds, because if you get it wrong in that respect at Leeds, he can look foolish. I don't dislike the guy. I just think that, like you say, he doesn't draw me in, and I think he's made some poor decisions, but. Like we said about Farker, it's very easy to sit on the outside and look in and be very critical. So, like Barney was saying, overridingly, a bit like Ramazani, it was a positive experience. They got things wrong, clearly. I get things wrong in business, every day, and I don't run a multi-million-pound global entity like Leeds United. He seems to be learning, and I think that's all you can do in business or in that kind of role is learn, from your mistakes and the things you got right. And you can't be too critical of these people as much as, a lot of the time I do it, I'm tongue in cheek and I like to get stuck into about the kits and stuff, but it's probably be a good thing. I think he went to Everton. Did he go to West Ham when they were moving ground? So maybe it's the ground move and the kind of PR around that they wanted him at Everton. Probably be a good fit. I wish him well, but we need somebody like Barney to take us to the next level, simple as. I don't think he's the man.
No. So there's a comment here from Derek. Whoops. Derek Moore says, I like Angus. Seems like a good guy. Knows the club and the fans. I don't know why some fans want him out. And I think, to be honest, mate, I think it's not being able to differentiate and separate him between all of the bad stuff that Rads and Orta did at the time. And obviously, sacking of Bielsa, bringing in Marsh, bringing in Allardyce. So all of that stuff, he was technically, he was the CEO. It was he was in charge, right? And he never really answered for that. And we've never really sort of been able to have any sort of word about differentiating. So I think because his sort of reputation is all tied up with some of those awful times.
Yeah, hard to forget. But I think we move on. Barney, your mums?
Sheffield United.
Your internet's miles better.
You need to move in with your mum, Barnes.
It's a brand new housing estate, so it's like Opta fibre optics. So it's like,
is it?
It's
like
that
poster in the background.
Honeybees.
Honeybees.
Yeah, but my stepdad used to look after bees.
Oh my God! I just said that and he went a bit weird then.
Sheffield United. What are we thinking? Monday.
Away win, clearly.
Fans.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. I just said about the Wi-Fi.
I know. I shouldn't say no. I'm going to shut up now, Barney.
Sheffield United. Let's go.
I think Sheffield United will not want to compete against us, even though they're playing at home. I do not think they know they're not good enough. So I think it's going to be a very cagey game, and it's going to be a lot of us with possession. So I'm just going to say a 1-0 to us.
Not to them. That's what usually happens.
No, I think they've got away with it far too long. And also, I think they probably win those games when they're playing against shit teams because they've got probably better quality, but against the team against us, I don't think they'll have it. When they played us at home, I couldn't believe how bad they were. I couldn't believe how a relegated team, and when they were playing, I was like, no wonder they got relegated.
Yeah, same. And we were in the
I think they've got a bit better.
We were in the East Stand Upper then as well, so you could. The good thing about it is you can see the whole pitch. You can see the structure.
Sabulia.
They weren't organised. They were awful. They were absolutely awful.
I think they've got better. I think they've got better, and they've brought some good people in January. So I think they're probably a slightly different proposition to what they were. So I won't get too excited about the game previously, but we're better than them in every department, every position that you pick. We're better than them. So ultimately, at home, I think we'd be better away against them as well. They're going to have to come out and have a go at some point. I just think we beat them, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was a draw and it was pretty dull. I'd love to go and absolutely wipe their ass. It'd be brilliant. But yeah.
We forget how badly the club was run before Angus, says Mike P.
Yeah.
Derek says, loving the top. Thank you.
Beautiful, that.
Had to dash to the... Barney will never forgive me. I had to dash to the club. But I completely forgot.
Let's move on.
But I just want to put this up here. Derek Morse agree with me. He's put agree, Adonis. And think you might just leave that on screen. There we go.
Why not? It's the first time in fucking 5 years where you might as well leave it up there. It's the first time anybody's agreed with you on the podcast. Not even me and Barney have fucking sung that low yet.
Got to milk this for all it's worth. Right, what's your thing? What is your thing, Barnes?
My thing is I've been watching this thing on YouTube, and it's called Oddest Places. And basically, it's this guy going around in his camper van, travelling around Britain and going into the pubs you would never set foot in. But
like
these pubs are like proper pubs, proper drinkers pubs. Like there's nothing flash about them. Like proper, like blokes sat together, having a pint together, and then he rates Guinnesses as well. And then he's gone to like some of the worst places in New York, and he went to Prague where he's getting pints of lager that look really proper pilsners for 99p. And it's just like really interesting. Like it's
Ross
like
Kemp's dangerous pub.
He'll go through Salford, and he'll go into this pub and he'll say, "I bet they only take cash here," and they do. And it's like proper drinkers pub. It's like how Britain used to be. Hey, how Britain used to be. That's how it should be.
Full Brexit.
All right, Farage, give it a rest.
Full reform.
I bet you're definitely singing Solomon's song and the Willie song, you man. Fucking leave it out.
Barney's tried dry January and he's gone full reform.
Fundamental.
No, I just find it really interesting, like looking at different aspects of
I'm going to watch that. You sent me that over there. I'm going to watch it. Yeah, I'm going to watch it.
They can call it pints again now. Was that the benefit of Brexit? Is that why we did it? Was it something about that?
What did we call it before? A large glass of beer, please.
A metric volume. 500 millilitres, please, of your finest ale. Barman.
A large glass of mild, please.
This isn't the Britain that I...
Pint of Merlot, barman. Pint of Merlot, barman. That's why I describe drinking these 7% beers like it's like if you get a pint of Merlot, a pint of Chianti when you go in the pub and you fucking have one and you're like, let's go, baby.
A pint of Merlot. Good God.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Okay, nice one. Macca, what's your thing? Have you gone Brexit reform as well?
No, I'm not going full retard.
I'm just going to pull something, and then all of a sudden the Union Jack drops behind me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a big flag comes there. So, telly-wise, you must watch, and it's blown me away. The most filmed war in history is the Vietnam War, and there's a thing on. Hang on, I'll have to get this right. But anyway, listen, no matter what it's on, you find it. Is it on Apple TV? Yeah, it's on Apple TV. Yeah. Thanks for that. Vietnam, the war that changed America. Fucking blown me away. It's like you get these people on telling these stories about their involvement, and soldiers and journalists, and they can find the film that's got that journalist telling that story, that exact moment when the American embassy was raided in Saigon, as the Americans left. And my God, it's heartwarming. It's got beautiful human stories. It's grim. It's absolutely fantastic. The videography, the kind of cinematography of it, the storytelling, the characters in it. It's just a brilliant watch, man. And it'll. I'm sure anybody. I'm not really. I like war films, like Barney. Me and Barney both like a war film, and it's kind of like a really honest documentary. It doesn't, like most American documentaries, big up American. It's obviously an eternal embarrassment in the Vietnam War, but it just tells a really true story, and I loved it. I watched it just binged it over 2 nights, and yeah, there's some brilliant stories there. You must watch it, man. It's a must watch. I've got another one, so that's my telly. So tonight, I have a son who is 16 next week, and because it's half term, he's having a party with 25. I know, can't believe it himself. You both met him, Luke, a little superstar, but he's having his party tonight for his 16th at our house in the kitchen,
Wow.
right? So, me, I brought this little bastard with me, hadn't I? Because we don't want any guns or knives or grinders. So I now have a security scanner. So what I'm going to be doing when I get off this call, I'm going to be checking them all on the way in. Have you got any dangerous items on you, lads? Empty your pockets. If you're not on the list, you're not coming in. I can't fucking wait. But then I'm going to have 25, 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds in my house for the next 4.5 hours. So
it's going to be messy, that and
yeah,
loud.
wish me luck. Yeah, wish me
I
luck.
can't believe you've got a bloody security metal detector. A super scanner.
Where'd you
get that from? Wish. Did you get it from Wish? Did you?
Yeah. Keep your nose out. No, it's a friend of mine got me this. It's a proper one. Yeah, and pick up all the metal plate in my head and everything.
Do they have to wear shoes as well? If they're wearing trainers, they allowed in?
Oh no, they've got the full kit round the door where they have to do the full body thing. I'll be frisking them all on the way in. Don't worry about that. That's probably I shouldn't say that.
Right. That does that right.
Frisking minors on the way through the door. No,
how was the 16th birthday?
We'll take it out.
We'll take it out.
Yeah. We'll take it out in the edit. I'll end up on some sort of register by tomorrow morning. But it's just a bit of a wind up. My son doesn't know, and he's going to go mental. Oh, you're fucking so embarrassing. I'm going to search him all.
It's 3 months to arrive. Come on a boat from China.
Should I got it overnight?
It looks like one of those things you get from Captain Value. Do you remember Captain Value?
Captain Value
in Otley.
Wow,
it was.
Yeah,
right place that. I used to live in Otley. I used to go there all the time.
Yeah,
it was literally you could buy. If someone said, "Do you know where I can get this?" Captain Value.
Captain Value.
You could buy any sort of shit.
It'd be shit. It would break the first time you use it.
It was basically like the early years of Yorkshire Trading Centre.
It was like Poundland on crack.
Yeah, you could literally buy a mop to like your pan and anything in between. And the way it was merchandised, it was literally, there you go, chucked it on a shelf. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Great memories.
Oh, God, yeah. And it smelt like a sort of plastic factory.
Full of plastic.
With the odd smell of BO and Old Spice.
Baked beans.
Yeah. Well, they did that. There's a little story here. So there was like a little competition in Otley. So there used to be a Netto's, Captain Value, and then there was another supermarket, I can't remember. And they had a competition. It was like an ongoing joke to sell the cheapest tin of baked beans. And it got down to 4p a tin.
Wow. What's the market for baked beans then?
It was big news in Otley. But when he tipped it out, it was literally a couple of beans and water. It was no sauce to it whatsoever. You had to literally boil it for hours for it to like thicken up.
I was always very suspicious.
That's the Britain I fell in love with.
That's the Britain I fell in love with. Playing great back into Britain.
It started and ended with that's the football the Leeds United I fell in love with. Now that's the Britain we fell in love with. That's the Otley I fell in love with. Otley's always worried me a little bit. It's quite suspicious of it, and you just confirmed why.
That's where John's from.
Who?
John, my uncle.
Uncle John.
Yeah.
Uncle John. I fucking love Uncle John, mate. I'll take it all back. I love Uncle John.
Yeah.
He's in my phone. He's in my phone as Uncle John. And people in my family keep seeing it, going, "Who's Uncle John?" It's a secret uncle you don't know about, should it?
Yeah, that's where my family's from. So.
No, you weirdos! I told you, fucking both.
Yeah, very weird, very odd. My thing is Severance. I don't know if you've watched it. Either of you seen it?
It's weird as fuck.
It's
you love a weird thing. Yeah, it's good, but it's weird.
It's good. It's so good. It's so weird. Yeah, so I love it. If you haven't seen it, the concept is a bit odd. Basically, a company that was set up a long time ago by a cult leader who's seems to be part of some sort of secret society. Set up this company. Now they're putting microchips in people's brains to separate their work memories from their outside free time memories.
Cool.
So you go into work, and then you go into this special elevator, and then you wake up in the elevator again, having done a day's work, but you can't remember any of it. And basically, you're
Did Barney do that every day?
yeah. But when you're in there, because your memory's been wiped, it's like creating a new human almost. So it's interesting how their work personalities can be also quite different from their outside personalities. And yeah, it gets sort of more interesting and more mysterious as it goes along. And it's just overtaken. What's that stupid fucking Ted Lasso?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just overtaken Ted Lasso as the most popular Apple TV show.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow. It's basically like working for the civil service. That's what I'd compare it to. Where your personality outside of work is very different to the one in, and you get in a lift and go to work and forget about your entire day, and then go home and enjoy yourself, and then go back and do it again the next day. It sounds civil services to me.
No comment.
Yeah, Barnes, you can tell us about that. Rightio. That's enough, I think. That's enough. What have we had? We've had...
More than hour now. Don't worry, 56 minutes. Oh, sorry.
Getting anally probed, frisking 16-year-olds.
Yeah. That's enough about me. What about you two?
Doing a shit in the garden. That's a great pod.
And Leeds to get promoted.
Right,
yeah,
yes,
and we're going up as fucking champions, don't forget
that. So, predictions, final prediction for Sheffield United, and then we'll say goodbye. So it was 1-0. You didn't make a prediction, Matt?
I'll go 2-1 Leeds.
Right, and I'm going 3-1.
Oof.
Leeds.
Sheffield United.
And it'll be a right night. I better check the comments.
Nobody's watching. We're talking to ourselves at this point. Don't worry about it.
Why is your hair black only?
Have you dyed your hair?
No.
Is that what he's into now? It does look very thick and dark, to be fair.
Luscious.
Have you got some new glasses as well? I've got new glasses,
yeah. You broke the last ones.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Sorry.
By putting them on your head.
I bent them around my massive head. I've actually got a photograph on WhatsApp at the minute, which is me wearing your glasses in the pub, punching my dad. And, yeah.
I've got a very thin head.
I haven't. Like an armchair.
I put them back on and they just slid straight off.
That was another drunken night in the pub that ended badly for your glasses.
Oh, let's have a look at these comments. Maybe wait until they're 18 before you start frisking them back. Says Derek.
Fair point, Derek. You're always full of great advice. I might follow that.
Keeping you out of jail.
Yeah, good.
That's your lawyer. Derek's your lawyer. Mark Edison, Landman. Do we know about that?
What?
I'm not sure what that's in reference to.
I don't. You have to explain, Mark.
Alison says 1-1 or 2-1 to the Blades.
11 or 21 to them. What the fuck? Alison, stop bringing the mood down, man. We were having a fucking good time then.
Derek says, cheers, lads. Fun show as always. 3-0 Leeds. Mark says 3-1 Leeds.
Yeah.
And Mike is trying to get us to be talking for another hour. He's asking the player of the season so far.
Oh, Jesus.
One word. One player.
Tanaka, you're going to say.
Rodon.
Do you know what? I'm going to go with you, mate. I'm not even going to try and look for an alternative. I think under the radar, absolute rock. Epitomises everything about Leeds. Yeah, I'm going Rodon.
Landman is a great series, by the way. I'm going Tanaka.
Yeah,
Barnes,
fair point.
Did you said? Oh, you've both
Me and
gone
Barnes are
Rodon.
going Rodon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You didn't pick anyone different. God, you're lazy, Matt. You get
But
lazy.
after he's underrated, he gets fucking ignored every week. You know, it's like you play in teams where they have a centre half or centre midfielder who's like this old stalwart, whether it's a pub side or a Saturday team or whatever, and they rarely get man at match because it's just like it's expected of them. And Rodon's in that category where he's head and shoulders. Anybody that Ampadu would be a lot more fallible if it weren't for Rodon. So the next to him, that's a fact. Melier, I dread to think. You know, he's carrying a big load. He's definitely 100%. He is. It's true. It's true. Rodon's your man. I love him. The thing that he did pre-season about, I want to be in all the photographs for the new kit launch and because I'm definitely coming. Sets him apart straight away from me anyway. You know, just that mentality of, you know, he's a Leeds player.
To be fair, Rodon's my favourite player.
Yes, fair.
But the player of the season for me is Tanaka. And he's just so, you know what it is about Tanaka is he's just so graceful. He's like he's floating on air. He's so, you know, he's in a different time zone, like he's in a completely different dimension. And he's so skillful and talented and consistent as well. A few people are just giving their player of the season, and then we'll sign off. So Derek says Dan James. Difficult to argue with that. Mike P says Tanaka. Very good choice, Mike. And Alison says, can't pick one, Bogle, Tanaka, or DJ. Well, you've got to pick one, Alison. Flaunting the rules out here.
Yeah, you can only pick there can be only one.
Highlander. Another good one. Rightio, that's all we've got time for. Don't you have homes to go to?
No, well, I've got this fucking bouncer's job to do at Marston's Park, so I'm just putting it off. Can we stay on for another hour, like somebody suggested? So I don't get arrested for frisking 15-year-olds. I'm using my security checker.
And on that bombshell.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that note.
Come on, Leeds.
Come on, Leeds.
Come on.
Come on.
We're going